You know, in the 11th chapter of Matthew, Jesus is not talking to drug dealers or prostitutes or what we would commonly call sinners when he says to them, "Come unto me, all you who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest." The whole concept that he introduces here is the idea of rest, but he's not really talking to what we would call out-and-out sinners. He's talking to people that are in a religious setting. He says it in the Message Bible like this. He says, "Are you tired? Are you weary? Are you burned out on religion? Come to me and I'll show you how to take a real rest. I'll teach you the unforced rhythms of grace." That's what the volume of this book is about, is the unforced rhythm of grace, and how that rest does not simply mean that we become spiritual couch potatoes. What it suggests is that everything that we now enjoy and have flows out of the finished work of Jesus Christ. Rest is not a product of preaching rest. Rest is a product of showing people how the work got finished. When we show them the finished work and we preach the cross and the work and the person of Jesus Christ, we show people how Jesus truly did finish the work, and it brings them into this incredible Sabbath rest. What I endeavor to do in the following pages of the book that you're about to read is I try to introduce the concept that rest is the whole idea of the Sabbath. It's really not an argument about which day we should worship, but that the Sabbath day is more than just a day of the week. It is a person. And when you enter into the person and work of Jesus Christ, you will cease from your own labors and you will enter into God's work. When Jesus is saying to them in Matthew 11, he's saying to them, all the law and the prophets spoke up until John. The key word there is until. They culminated in John. And it says that until then, violent men forced their way into the kingdom. But now you and I do not have to take the kingdom by force. It is the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. It is in the following pages of this book that you'll discover the unforced rhythm of grace that flows from this understanding of rest. In the 4th chapter of Hebrews, we continue to show that the Promised Land is more than just a piece of real estate. It is this place of faith where we understand that the work was finished from before the foundation of the earth. And when we understand that, we will begin to hit this place that I call faith. And when we enter this place called faith, and we believe that the work was finished, it brings us into this posture of rest. He tells them in Hebrews 4 that to labor to enter into this rest, and in the Gospel of John he tells them this is the work of God, that you simply believe on him whom he has sent. My hope is that as you read the pages of this book, your faith is going to grow. You're going to enter a place of enjoying your journey with God in such an incredible way that you're going to hit this place called rest, and from it will come an outflow of milk and honey. A lot of deep things could be said about milk and honey, but very simply put, it's the good life on every level, both spiritually and physically, and it flows not from your labor and your sweat and all of our religious activities, but it flows as we enter into this promised land called Christ, who the Scripture said Jesus Christ is the fulfillment of all the promises that God made to the fathers. So he is our promised land, and when I get in him, I can't help but enter into this place called rest. And last but not least, I would say it like this: if you work, God will rest. But if you rest, God will work. And what you'll see is that there'll be so much more that flows out of this understanding of the rest of God and the finished work of Jesus Christ. The pages of this book will explore the miracles that Jesus did on the Sabbath day. We are not trying to tell you that they are not something that occurred in history, because they truly historically occurred, and Jesus did heal some people, and they in fact are principles that we can draw today and say he's still a healer. But what I've done is I've peeled the layers, so to speak, of truth, and just like an onion, you roll it back and you find it has more layers. And we're going to take each one of the miracles that Jesus did on the Sabbath day and show you how they powerfully speak in type and shadow of what will flow from this incredible posture and position of rest. I believe there remains a rest for the people of God. Get ready to be blessed by the pages of this book. Your life will be transformed as you open the pages of this book and discover the unforced rhythm of grace.